Hello there and welcome to Etihad Stadium for day 2 of the NAB AFL Draft Combine. I'm Nat Edwards and joining me as always is AFL.com.au's draft expert Cal Toomey. Cal, welcome. Plenty of excitement on day 2 of the Draft Combine.
There is, Nat. It's where some tests were starting to heat up. We'll get onto those a little bit later, but there's plenty to talk about. We've spoken to some more recruiters, some more players, and all the action's starting to heat up here at Etihad Stadium.
Beautiful. Well, let's touch first on the testing that was done yesterday afternoon. We had the standing and running vertical jump, one of my favourites, and there was a record broken.
There was, and it was by an American who's aiming to make a list as an international Category B rookie. His name is Marvin Bainham. He jumped 88 centimetres in the standing vertical jump. That's an all-time record, Nat. That beats Dean Towers' 85 centimetres from a couple of years back. Of course, Dean Towers went on to play for the Sydney City Swans and be drafted by the Swans. So he's 198 centimetres. He's 22. Obviously, he comes from America, so he's got a college basketball background and American football background. He's from Florida, so
sounds like a freak, doesn't he?
A very, very good athlete. The running vertical jump was also run by an American, that's Evan Bruinsma. He jumped 97 centimetres, didn't quite reach Nick Nat's height of 102 centimetres, the all-time record, but an amazing jump nonetheless.
And a name as well that's been bandied around, Christian Petracca. He also tested really well in the standing vertical jump. Probably
shouldn't be any surprise, Nat, given his basketball background. That really came to the fore yesterday. He can jump, and he knows it. That's what he used to do in the basketball court. Look, he's a terrific basketballer. He used to play at AOS level, under 17s in Australia, so a really great point guard. Now he's a really great half-forward flanker in midfield, aiming to make the AFL. So I think it's AFL's win that he decided to go at the footy.
Certainly indeed, and he spent some time at Hawthorn training. What a great experience for a young kid.
Terrific. I mean, that was through the AFL AOS Academy program. He spent that week there in January. He trained with them, he took part in all their drills, and they loved his experience and his attitude towards it, and he loved it as well. I think that's where it really solidified in his mind that this is what he wanted. I don't think he would have even thought that he would be a top 5 pick at that stage, but he's gone on to have a super year and really deserves everything he gets.
And while he was playing, while the Hawks, were playing on the MCG, he was serving coffee to the patrons.
Yeah, he's picked up a bit of a part-time job serving coffees at the MCG throughout the year, so I'm sure a few footy fans would have found his face a little bit familiar when they've ordered a cafe latte or mochaccino or something, but I think he orders it quite well.
All right, well, let's hear from Christian this morning.
Yes, obviously you're coming into this, it's all speculation, but once your name's read out on draft night, then we'll know for a fact. But yeah, it's all exciting at the moment, and good to be around the boys. Yeah, I was working at the G. I work at the G every weekend, and prelims as well, and all finals, and it's a good handy job to have. I go for the Pies, mate. Yeah, so hopefully I go to them. We'll see what happens. Jordan Lewis, I've got his number, and we text quite a bit, and he just says to me, just enjoy it, the experience, and just have fun and just take it day by day. You don't have to over impress, just do what you're doing.
So some great advice there from Jordan Lewis to Christian Petracca. Now, the New South Wales and Queensland based club academies have caused a fair bit of debate this year, with Eddie Maguire from the Collingwood president obviously talking about that a lot. Isaac Heeney, that's a name that's popped up a lot. He's been at the Swans Academy since he was 12 years of age. Where would he sit in the draft order if he wasn't an academy player?
Great question, one that clubs have been mulling over all year. I think he's a top 5 pick. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the top 2 or 3 picks had he been in an open draft. That's not the case. Sydney will nominate him as an academy selection, and they'll match whatever bid comes for him in the first round next week. So he'll be pick 17 at November's draft. That'll all be sorted next Monday. But had he been an open draft, it would have been a very, very early selection. So a good one for the Swans.
If the academy wasn't there, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'd probably still be in Newcastle actually, and playing rugby league or union or something like that. So yeah, in a way, it's comforting that that a club's looking at you, and to have that experience and be at the club for the past 6 years, so through the academy. But I'd love to go to the Swannies. So.
Isaac Heeney there. Now, he spoke this morning, but he wasn't actually participating in any of today's testing.
No, he's got some knee tendonitis, just a little issue that's cropped up of late. Nothing too much to worry about, but he's one of a number of players, along with Angus Brayshaw, Paddy McCartan, who are out this week just through little niggles.
All right, so as he watched on, some of the other boys got straight into some more testing. What did they have on the agenda today? Well,
only a few of them managed to get a little bit of testing this morning. There was a few technical issues with the technology testing, the 20-metre sprint and the agility test, so the AFL's worked pretty hard at getting that right.
Now, it's not just physical testing that's on the agenda for these boys this week. There's a lot of club interviews to be done as well, and I believe Carlton will have done 170 or something ridiculous like that by the time this week's out.
Yeah, there's a few double ups and triple ups there, but by the end of this week I think they sort of in the position to have 170 interviews done across the year, so you can't say that they're not doing their homework. They know these players back to front, so this is a week to just get to know them, get to see them again. Their relationships are already formed, so hopefully by now they get some really honest answers and feedback.
And the Blues, of course, have an important decision. They've got pick 6 at this stage. Now, they haven't ruled out trading that pick, but I do believe it would take something special. So let's hear from Shane Rogers from Carlton.
I think everyone's saying the same this year. The top 5 are a little bit spread out, a bit harder to put in order. So we haven't ruled out pick 6 being up for trade, but it'd have to take a very special trade for us to do it. So at this stage, I think we would keep pick 6.
Yeah, well, there's a few options for them at that pick. That they're looking for pace. Paul Lahern might be someone they look at. He's got some real class and speed. Sort of in that pick 5 to 15 range. Lockie Weller's got some pace. We've seen his goal kicking as well that he's added to his game throughout the year. He's a midfielder with some absolute class. For some tall forwards, look, Sam Durden can play forward. There's some other options. Caleb Marchbank can play forward as well. So a couple of names to throw in the mix.
What about Darcy Moore? I know obviously Collingwood have their eye on him as a father-son, but there's a chance that maybe someone else wants to snap him up a little bit earlier than pick 8.
Well, that's right. The Pies have first dibs on him at pick 8, but it'll take a bid to come through. So, and the Pies then obviously have to match that. If they see he's worthy of that selection, it'll be interesting to see whether the Blues do make a bid for Darcy Moore at pick 6. Let's have a listen to what Shane Rogers had to say.
Yeah, but fair to say we interviewed him yesterday and he was a really good kid, hugely intelligent, probably too intelligent for some of the recruiters he's interviewing, but or that were interviewing him. But yeah, he's obviously in the mix for that pick 6.
Very interesting stuff from Shane Rogers there.
I got the sense that they might bid, but you know, you never know until Monday morning, of course. But look, if they bid and Collingwood didn't match it, but Darcy Moore ended up at the Blues, I think that they'd be more than happy to take him.
All right, well, watch this space now. Of course, the Saints, we heard from their recruiting manager, Tony Elshaw, yesterday. Of course, pick number 1 is still on the trade table. It's going to take a special deal to get that one done. What else have the Saints got to look forward to?
Well, I've got another pick later in the first round as well, and this week's about establishing the order of those selections. They take a real interest in the Combine. They like to interview players. They like to see how they compare against each other. We spoke to Amit Baines, the list manager, about that, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, obviously we've got the first pick, as you said, so you know we're excited by the players that could possibly be picked at that range. I think Shifter spoke yesterday of Christian Petracca, Angus Brayshaw and Peter Wright and Paddy McCartan as the 4 possible options, and we tend to see it the same way. But the draft itself we think is reasonably deep, and as history has shown, there are going to be rookies that are picked at the back end that'll go on to be premiership players like they were for Hawthorn last week.
And he says there's plenty of depth in this draft. In your opinion, is this one of the most even drafts you've seen in a while?
It is. It's really even. The top bunch is really even. There's probably 4 or 5 standouts, as we've heard all week, and then after that there's about 15 players, so I think could fill those next first round positions. Then after that it might be a free-for-all. I think from 20 to 40 there's going to be a few surprises come November, but that'll even itself out over the next 6 weeks. All
right, tomorrow, day 3 of the NAB AFL Draft Combine. What can we expect?
It's a big day tomorrow, Nat. There's the skills tests in the morning, so there's the handball, the goal kicking and the kicking test. So I think the recruiters get a little bit of an insight into how their skills work under a little bit of pressure. Look, it's not game day pressure, we all know that, but it's still about hitting the targets, and that's important. And then in the afternoon, there's one of the big tests, the beep test.
The dreaded beep test.
Yes, absolutely. I've spoken to a few guys throughout the week and they're dreading it already, so it's going to be really interesting to see if anyone can come near Billy Hartsung's 16.6 record from last year's Combine.
Absolutely incredible. Well, stay tuned to afl.com.au for all of your draft news. Thanks for joining us, Cal. We'll see you guys tomorrow.